All right, so if you just want to start by introducing yourself real quick.
What's up? I'm Tigran MiMOSA, coming from Los Angeles, California. I'm 24 years old. I make bass music.
Nice. And so you played your set here at Ultra today. How'd that go?
Fantastic. We had a great time. Lots of kids came out and supported. It felt great.
Nice. And
Yeah.
so this is your first Ultra?
Yep, it's my second time in Miami, man.
Nice, man. That's cool. That's cool. I'm glad you had a good time. So how did you get into producing electronic music originally?
Well, I grew up in California, and I listened to a lot of hip hop growing up from a really early age, and I at 13 years old I moved to the Bay Area, and hip hop was my whole world. And when I moved to the Bay, I started to get exposed to the psytrance, and I started going to psytrance parties at 15, and I went to my first Burning Man that same year to seek out more of that kind of music. And that was in 2003 or so, and dubstep wasn't really, it hadn't hit the U.S. yet. And it was just as, I can't say that, but it was big. And anyway, I went to go to Burning Man to check out more music like that, and I stumbled upon Tipper, and he was playing this like down-tempo set that fused the hip-hop beats with the psychedelic sounds of psytrance. So I was super kind of intrigued by that, because it kind of had the swag and the kind of funk of hip hop and the soul of it,
Sure.
but it had these like weird psychedelic sounds that really captivated you. And so I went out and I bought Fruity Loops that year.
Nice.
And started making my own beats. And I've just been doing what I feel ever since I was about 16 years old, man. I'm about 24 now, so.
Nice.
Yeah.
So who are some of your other artists that you're heavily influenced by?
To be honest, hip hop is my biggest influence, and especially at this period. Dr. Dre has been always, I'd say, my number one influence, instrumentally, musically. And I grew up listening to a lot of Tupac. I used to play that, like Snoop Dogg. I used to play like going to sleep, waking up, going to school, and now I'm just kind of intrigued by the Southern. I went out, I spent some time in Houston, and I spent some time in New York, and I'm really intrigued by the kind of the fuse of all the hip hop sounds, and especially the Southern kind of Texas, Houston sound, and the chopped and screwed kind of stuff. And that's where I'm kind of coming from. I'm trying to combine like the dubstep purple kind of elements with my own original kind of 808 fusion of it, and I'm calling it Future Trill.
Nice.
Because everybody keeps asking me what music or what genre my music is, and I have no idea what to say.
Yeah,
so,
it's hard to describe for sure.
Yeah, I go all over the place, right? I make anywhere from dubstep to ambient music to dub to garage to witch house. I go all over the place. So it's just hard to categorize it. So I just Future Trill.
Nice. So you said you picked up Fruity Loops. You still produce with Fruity Loops?
Absolutely not. No. Now I use Logic and Ableton.
Okay.
I use Ableton to perform out live, and yeah.
Nice.
This is
Any
my primary route.
Any particular plugins you really dig, like stuff you use?
I use all sorts of plugins. I use Massive, Virus, Lil Fatty, the Mini Moog. I use all sorts of synthesizers and VSTs, you name it. Whatever I can grab off the internet, I'll use it. If it sounds good, it's on.
Nice. So your new album Sanctuary dropped a few months back. I guess it was November or something around
Something
there.
like that, yeah.
So how did that come about? Like, how long did it take you to produce that album? And
that album came about. I had some friends living out in Brooklyn, some really close friends of mine, and they owned a house out there, or a warehouse actually, and they were gonna leave for the summer to go to Germany, to Berlin, and they offered me to come visit them the week before they were leaving to come check out New York, because I'd never been out there. And I spent some time, went out to some clubs. They introduced me to some musicians or whatever, some really underground cats no one would really know about. And I just got super inspired by the all sorts of different, because you can go out in New York every single night and see something completely different, and I was really inspired by that. And spent about 3 months out there and just made 808 music, and that's just kind of where I was at the time and what I was feeling. And I guess the whole album really isn't that. You know, there's a little bit of everything. There's some garage,
Sure.
there's some UK funky stuff, there's some bass heavy stuff, and
Yeah.
I just always try to go all over the map and express myself in as many ways as I can.
Yeah.
So
You're definitely succeeding at that for sure, man.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Really enjoying it. So I think that's probably gonna do it. Anything new you got coming down the line you want to talk about? Or?
I have a side project called Sexy Time with my good friend Sleepyhead, who lives out in New York, and we've been working together for years, and we got our first release coming out called Naked Poetry, on 420, and yeah, we're gonna tour that. We're gonna I'm really excited for it because it sounds completely different. It sounds nothing like my Mimosa project, and it's its own thing. So it's good for me to have a creative outlet where I can express myself in a completely different way than what my fans would expect from my Mimosa project. So and it's always fun collaborating with someone else as well. So
Sure.
Yeah.
Have dates been announced for that yet, or?
Not yet. No, we'll announce very shortly, like in the next couple weeks. So keep an eye out for sure. Yeah.
All right, man. Well, thanks for sitting down with me.
Absolutely, man.
Good
Thank you
times,
so
dude.
much. Yeah.
Great to meet
Thanks
you,
for your
bro.
time.
For
Yeah.
sure.